So when you talk about social media and you talk about patient ambassadors, one of the key um, topics that comes up is this idea of social media influencers. And that has been a thing that the FDA has been looking at primarily in the context of tobacco, for tobacco, especially in the context of vaping. But they have looked at it in the context of pharma. A good example of that is the Kim Kardashian ad, if you will.
Yep.
So when you're talking about that, what kind of easy reminders would you give to people who are conceiving of a social media policy? And again, considerations, obviously not your policy or anything like that, but what are some considerations they should be thinking about? Because the organizations I work with, they talk about, oh, you know what? We need to create a appropriate social media policy. And it's just unbranded, no big deal. But what are your thoughts? How do you sort of deal with that?
So when we started moving into social media, we did create an overall arching just policy, very high end, just to get the kind of the basic rules. And then last year, when we started looking into doing more activity, we actually put together an SOP for the policy. But it was all unbranded. Now that we're moving to branded, we're now looking to create a new SOP for the branded side, actually. And what does that look like? And there's a lot of stakeholders that just need to be involved. It's not just marketing. It's not that just legal or compliance, but it's also, pharmacovigilance. They should be involved because they need to make sure that they know where this messaging is going. Same thing with the patient ambassadors. Is the patient ambassadors need to be trained, just like a sales rep needs to be trained, of what they can and can't do when it comes to speaking about the product or their disease what's related to the product. So again, all these different kind of groups have to come together and formulate some type of process or program together that makes sense for everyone. You have to balance the risk with the enforcement that you were talking about with Kardashian, as well as other areas too, and figure out where that balance is.